Hello friends, once again I am before you to continue with the question paper solving for CET preparation and NEET preparations. This time I am slightly late, sorry for that. Now in this episode I would like to highlight briefly about my question paper. My question paper is so prepared that there are questions only for those students who can get the seat for CET and NEET. I would like to tell you this thing, the real fact. In CET question paper always, some 25 questions will be 25%, 25% questions will be easiest questions. Means any student can answer that questions. And another some 40% questions will be for moderate students who have the real knowledge of biology can answer, but generally they cannot, like that. Other general students cannot. That way it is. And some 20% questions are such that only best students in the class can answer, and the remaining some 5-10% of the questions will be for geniuses. I mean, the students who can get the government seats of their desired colleges and places. Means there will be toppers, and such questions just like in Kaun Banega Crorepati, their questions equivalent to 7 crore rupees, the topmost prize winners. That level questions, there will be about 5%. That my question paper is also like that. And my question paper is not containing questions for that first 25% students, that everybody can answer such questions. Such questions are not there at all. So that's why if you understand my questions properly, you will be actually very happy to attend the CIT and NEET question papers examinations. That's why be attentive and be serious. And also don't forget to like my channel, subscribe it, and also don't forget to press the bell icon present side by the word subscribe. Now I'll continue with the next question. Uh, uh, After the episode that already I have covered. Okay, thank you. We'll continue now. Yes, in previous episode, we have solved questions up to 6th one. Now from 7th question I'll start in today's episode. 7th question reads, transverse binary fission occurs in. You must understand what is transverse binary fission. Fission, first word, fission means the simplest method of cell reproduction. That is one cell producing two cells without without complications, very easily producing two cells. That is nuclear material, genetic material present inside the cell. It replicates, and two copies will form inside the cell, and that cell is going to form two cells by sharing that genetic material equally. That is fission. Binary fission means if only once the cell divides to form two cells. Commonly it will take some 20 minutes or so. So quickly, very fastly it is reproducing. Then transverse binary fission, of course, meaning is that multiple fission, another type of fission where cell goes on dividing number of times, producing many cells. That is multiple fission. Now here, transverse binary fission means the cell must be dividing transversely. For example, fission, I'll first show you how the fission takes place. I'll show you first. Just I'll show you 1 minute. See in this cell, green circular thing inside the cell is the chromosome, that is genetic material, that is producing two copies in the second diagram, and in the third diagram cell is dividing into two, sharing that genetic material equally, thus finally two cells are forming. This is fission method. One cell producing two identical similar cells with the same quantity of genetic material shared. That is fission. Fission it is. And binary fission, transverse fission. The meaning is, I'll show you in two organisms like this. See, one minute. Yes. See here, euglena dividing. One euglena, that is a microscopic motile flagellate cell that has a nucleus inside, which is shown with red color in this diagram. That nucleus forms two nuclei, and the euglena becomes two euglena finally. But division is along the length, so it is longitudinal fission. And in the next diagram you can see one minute. See here, paramecium. Paramecium, the single-celled organism, microscopic organism, has two nuclei. One is shown with red color in this diagram, and another is shown with green color. And red color nucleus, meganucleus, forms two nuclei by fission method. And micronucleus, the small with shown with green color, that undergoes true mitosis and forms two nuclei. And both nuclei will totally form four nuclei, two red and two green. Then the paramecium is forming two paramecia, sharing that nuclei equally. One red nucleus, one green nucleus, like that. It is sharing. Now, here, paramecium is forming two paramecium by horizontal division, that is transverse division. So this is called transverse fission. Like that is. Now we'll go for next question. See, next question reads, question number 8 reads, why asexual reproduction is generally disadvantageous? Asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, in sexual reproduction there will be biparental inheritance, and thereby the two parental characters will be coming together into young one, and they will be interacting with each other, and thus better characters will be prevailing, and thus there will be more evolution possible. As more variations are forming by sexual reproduction, more evolution is possible. But in case of sexual reproduction, is uniparental. That is, same genetic material remains in the next generations. There will be no variations. That's why there is no evolution. So that's why among the answers here, it won't feed for evolution. That's correct only. That is, asexual reproduction won't feed for evolution. Then it allows animal to produce many offspring quickly. This is also correct. Asexual reproduction is easy method. That's why many offspring will be quickly forming. But sexual reproduction is a complicated process, slowly taking place. So young ones forming will be slow and lesser. And C option says it saves the time and energy of gamete production, sexual reproduction. It's a better point of the sexual reproduction, of course. Then the fourth one says it produces genetically uniform population. Yes, young ones forming will be genetically alike. If they are genetically alike, there cannot be variations, there cannot be evolution, but evolution must take place to fit with the changing environment, which cannot take place by asexual reproduction. That's why the first A is also correct answer, D is also correct answer, but comparatively D is the best answer. So D is the answer for this question. Now question number 9 we'll read. Question number 9 says, grafting is a vegetative hybridization. Grafting is a vegetative hybridization commonly for. Hybridization means what? Hybrid formation. Hybrids will be having characters of two parents. But both male and female parents' characters will be there in the hybrids. And vegetative hybridization means what? See, there is only one, parents, no, body to body combination will be there from the parents. There is no gamete formation, no, any special structures for reproduction, but any body part, that's leaf, meat, maybe leaf, stem, root in plants. Commonly it is done in plants only. That's why grafting is a vegetative hybridization. Means see, one plant's one cut portion is going to be fixed on another fixed plant. That is hybridization, vegetative hybridization. And it is commonly for what? Why two plants are combined to form one plant? Means two plants characters we want in one plant. What for? Options here are producing beautiful flowers, that is that plant's flowers, this plant's flowers coming together into one plant. Then produce better fruits, that is that plant's fruits, this plant's fruits coming together into one plant. Or qualities of that plant fruits and qualities of this plant's fruits coming together into one plant only, like that it is. That is combination of two parental characters into young one is the intention, of course. But she says producing both better flowers and fruits. Last answer says commercial benefits in horticultural practices. Of course, this grafting is done in horticultural practice only. And why in horticulture such plants are going to be produced? Because they must be commercially viable, that is commercially they must be liked by people and people must purchase them for higher prices. That's why commercial benefit in horticultural practice is the main intention for producing somatic hybrids. They can also be called vegetative hybrids, means somatic hybrids. There, fourth is the answer for this. D is the answer for this. Now next question reads, 10th question reads, genetic material in viruses is. Viruses generally have any one of the nucleic acids, that is DNA or RNA. But there are exceptions having both also. So genetic material in viruses is, among the answers here, DNA and RNA may be there in some viruses, some, very few viruses. DNA, only some viruses have DNA. RNA, only some viruses have RNA. D option says DNA or RNA, any one of them. This is the best answer. That's why D is the answer for this 10th question. Now 11th question reads like this. Protein coat of a virus enclosing nucleic acids is called. So among the answers here, vector, capsid, plasmid, genome, like that. Vector means what? Vector. Vector is a body in which a parasite is going to enter. Then capsid is the proteinaceous cover of the virus inside which genetic material DNA will be there. Plasmid is a hybrid DNA artificially produced in biotechnological practices. Genome is genetic material totally of any organism, that is genome. Now here Answer. Protein coat of a virus enclosing nucleic acid is called. The answer must be, now you must have understood, it is B, that is capsid. I'll better show you. One minute. Yes. You can see one type of viruses are like this. These are bacterial viruses called phage viruses. They have head and tail just like tadpole they are. They have a capsid head. You can read in the label, capsid head. Then collar is the neck region. Then phage tail. Like three parts are there in this virus. Capsid name is there. On top you can see. That is the head region structure actually. In another diagram you can better understand this. I'll show you that one. See in this. See here, this is capsid. That is head cover. This cover is capsid. And inside there is DNA, that is genetic material. So capsid is the proteinaceous cover of the virus. That is the answer for that. Now you can see among the answers of about this question. That is question number 11. Protein coat of a virus enclosing nucleic acids is called factor, capsid, plasmid, and genome. That is B is the answer. Capsid is the answer. Now let us go for 12th question. Question number 12 says, the phages that do not kill the host bacterium but multiply in them and pass on to next generation are called as. Yes, the phage viruses know when they infect bacteria, they inject their genetic material only inside, and the capsid or protein cover remains outside only, and the genetic material after going in is multiplying inside there, and after multiplying it will prepare its own protein there with the help of the vector's DNA, and thus its copies will be, that phage's copies will be forming inside that bacterium. And after forming, if they want to come immediately, they will kill that bacterium and come out. And such phages are called, such a life cycle of the phages is called the lytic life cycle. But sometimes what happens, they will multiply inside, but the bacteria won't die. Bacteria will again multiply so that its copies present inside the phages copies present inside the they will also be copied and transferred to next generation. Like the number of generations it may go on producing that vector, bacterium may go on producing next generation, third generation, fourth generation, like that. Immediately it won't die. And this type of life cycle is called lysogenic. I'll show you better in the diagram here. See this. In this, that green colored is phage virus. Blue colored is bacterium. That green colored virus has injected its DNA. This is the DNA injected by that virus. And this is the bacterial DNA, circular DNA. This is DNA of the phage. Then they will form a hybrid DNA like this. That is phage DNA as well as bacterial DNA. Together they will form a DNA like this. Then this bacterium is reproducing to produce two bacteria. In both of them, that copies of the DNAs will be coming. Like this, if it goes on multiplying actually. Now in this second diagram you can see in this diagram, this bacterium has multiplied to form another bacterium here, and in that number of phages are there. It is again producing another bacterium in which many phages are forming as that phages are developing inside, and complete phages developed here in this last phase of development of the phages inside the bacterium. Now they may break this bacterium and come out like this. They are coming out here. This page has come out, this page has come out. All will come out by breaking that bacterium. This is lytic life cycle. But if they are not breaking this bacterium and bacterium is reproducing to produce next generations without dying, and inside which it contains number of phages, and finally after number of generations it will break and then phages will be released. That is lysogenic phase. So answer for this question now must be, what is the question now? See, the phages that do not kill the host bacterium but multiply inside must be lysogenic phages. That is D. D is the answer for this question. Now question number 13 says, which one of the following viruses contains both the nucleic acids, DNA and RNA? Among the answers here, cyanophage, that's a bacterium infecting cyanobacteria. Herpes virus, a virus that causes herpes disease. Then leucovirus. Leucovirus is a virus that causes tumors like cancer tumors. That's a leucovirus. Then poliovirus that causes polio. So among the answers here now, only this leucovirus, C option, leucovirus is containing both DNA and RNA. Now let us see next question, 14th question. Bacteriophages kill what? Fungi, parasites, bacteria or viruses. Bacteriophages enter into bacteria only. That's why they kill bacteria only. C is the answer for this 14th question. Now 15th question reads, viruses multiply in culture medium, soil, dead tissue, living tissue. Of course in culture medium also they reproduce, but they are made to reproduce by culturing person. That they themselves are not multiplying in culture medium. In soil they cannot reproduce, in dead tissues they cannot reproduce, only in living tissue the viruses reproduce always. That's why D is the answer for this question. Question number 15. Now better we'll stop here, and from question number 16 onwards we'll deal in the episode. I'll better stop here. Thank you for listening, and think more about this. All explanations that I have given will only you analyze and think so that they will be remembered permanently and you can answer the questions easily in the examinations. Thank you.